This is Create2Game, where we connect creators and gaming. I'm Moogli, and I'll catch you up on this week's gaming news. Bandai Namco has what people are calling expulsion rooms. Apparently, the company is said to be sending staff members to these expulsion rooms, where they're kind of ushering people in there and just forcing them to do nothing. No work, nothing. Until they quit. So this is happening instead of laying people off, I guess. That is such a scaredy cat move, okay? Just say, hey, we don't have work for you right now. Maybe we'll change your contract to be exactly that, contract work, until we have a position open for you again. That doesn't make sense to me that they're just kind of doing nothing in the meantime. I guess employees are saying that this is putting a lot of pressure on them, putting pressure on people to leave voluntarily. And I think this is partially due to how Japan has some pretty strict labor protection laws that keep companies from actually laying people off. The company denies doing this, but so far 100 employees have resigned because of this in recent months, and more are expected to leave, whether it's on their own or due to the pressure. Bandai Namco has had a lot of games being postponed because of this, or canceled while they're in development. But that's not out of the ordinary for game companies in the current times. So speaking of layoffs, Riot Games has laid off more than 500 people in January, and now they're going through another wave of layoffs, mostly people working on League of Legends. I saw a post from someone who was laid off recently, and he was sharing his recent work on all the chromas that he's worked on in the past years, or over the years, I guess, and it was pretty sad. I play tested for Riot Games once, and it was a really good experience. I guess I can say what's happening now. It was talking about two of the skins and some chromas. So I know how much work goes into that to an extent. And it's really sad seeing people post their creative work saying that they're being let go. Apparently, Riot's co-founder, Mark Merrill, shared that the layoffs weren't for the sake of just cutting staff, but to focus more on hiring for the specific positions they're needing people for. But these employees that did get laid off got a huge severance package, 6 months pay, health coverage, and were actually encouraged to apply for other jobs within the company. Honestly, I wish I got that treatment every time I was laid off during COVID. It was a mess, but I mean, this sounds pretty good, despite the fact that your life is getting upheaved. I think that's the way to go. But with more changes coming to League of Legends, and with everybody getting hyped up for the final season of Arcane, I'm really hoping that the people who were laid off find even better jobs and are super happy moving forward. They do some great work. Except for those who are supposed to be fixing the client. The client sucks. Fix the damn client. So yeah, overall, I just hope that this is actually to help the company moving forward. I hope the people that were laid off find even better jobs and are super happy, and just hoping for the best. I know it sucks being laid off, especially just working in the gaming industry right now or ever is just so up in the air. So I hope these people find something that makes them super happy. Xbox Game Pass has been pretty cool because, you know, you get to play anything that's on there for just a monthly subscription. And if you want to do a trial, it's usually only $1 for the trial. But this was removed on October 8th, right before Black Ops 6 is set to release. The same thing happened last year before Starfield came out, so this is, I'm guessing, to get people to actually subscribe so they could play these games, and so that Xbox is getting a profit, and not just have people paying $1 for the trial to play Black Ops and then cancel their subscription. So what are my thoughts on this? I mean, it makes sense that you're putting out this work and you want people to actually pay for it instead of just, you know, paying $1, but I don't like the idea. I don't like the fact that they're going back and forth. So if this is the case, they shouldn't make a trial, or they shouldn't have a trial for $1. I think the fact that they're purposely not doing this as these games are being released is pretty shady. So either keep it the way it is, keep the trial the same, get good vibes all around, or just don't have the $1 trial, you know? But taking this away right before the big game gets released just doesn't come across well at all. I want to know what you guys think about this. I don't use Xbox Game Pass, but I know people who have, and I think it's a pretty good deal, honestly. I don't have an Xbox. But I want to know what you guys think about this, and if you're playing Black Ops through Xbox or another way. As we all know, Adobe has been in the news recently for its class action lawsuit because of how hard it is to cancel your subscriptions. Well, now they're in the news for something else. Their new AI tools that they're implementing. So, as I've talked about on previous episodes, this is such a great area. The company's assuring that people will be credited for their work, but I feel like it's going to be way more complicated than it seems right now. I use Adobe for work, and I've been using it for work for 11 plus years. And as someone who's constantly using these tools, I'm kind of hesitant to use AI in any of my work. And honestly, I feel a bit defeated because I'm sure a ton of people will be using these new tools. And I feel like those of us who are designing things on our own maybe won't have as good of a product as those using AI. I've been really hesitant to use AI overall and have slowly been trying to test it out for non-work purposes just because I know how touchy this can be and I don't want to even accidentally take another artist's work. But I do feel like if I'm doing something my own and doing my own designing and then you see somebody creating this awesome looking thing, but they're using AI, it's pretty defeating. I may just not know exactly how to implement these tools. So if you guys have feedback, if you guys know a better way to implement this without feeling like I'm falling behind with the times, let me know. Or if you're actually using AI for work purposes, I'm interested to hear about that as well. But I wonder if Adobe was already planning on this. They probably were, just to keep up with Google and other companies using AI. But I also think this is kind of a distraction from the lawsuit going on as well. And I wonder if it's going to get people to purposely want to keep their subscriptions. I'm one of those few people that has my subscription, but like I said, I use it for work, so it's through work. I'm wondering if I didn't have these tools through work, if I would pay for a subscription. Honestly, at this point, I'd probably just use something else. I've been using a lot of Canva for simple design, simple photo editing. I pay for a Canva Pro subscription. So now that there are more options than just Adobe, it's just, I'm curious to see where they're going, if they're gonna phase out over the years or just always be a staple. Last week, I asked what the first game is that you ever completed, and we got so many responses. I was impressed by how many people answered this question. I think the nostalgia of it is really what got people going. I can't go through all the responses, but here are a few of the popular ones. Tomb Raider, yes, Tomb Raider. I love Tomb Raider, one of the first games I completed as well. Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario World, Kirby's Dream Land, Pokemon, and Donkey Kong. So thank you again for everyone who shared their responses. I'm not going to have a question this week, but I probably will next week. That wraps it up for this week's episode of Create2Game. Thank you so much for listening, as always. You can find me on Valkence Social at Moogli. To join Valkence Social, go to social.valkence.com. I think we just hit 500 people registered on the platform, which is awesome. The first 100 people got badges, and then the first 500 people did as well. You might still be able to get a badge for the top 1,000 people or the first 1,000 people to sign up. So I would highly suggest going there before it gets super big. It's really wholesome and a really good place to socialize and share your thoughts and connect with other gamers and creators. So again, that's social.valkence.com. You can also find me on all other social media platforms at MoogliGames. Be sure to head to valkence.com for updates on all of the other podcasts that we have, latest news, and more from the Valkence family. See you next time!